Hello, my fellow Alaskans. How are we all doing here today? We are live on Politadick. Bear with me just a second while I get things connected up here for today's broadcast of the beginning of the confirmation hearing or Senate for them to begin the 32nd legislative session there in Juneau. It's going to begin live broadcasting here at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. here in just a few more moments. All right, I'm going to take just a few minutes here and talk to y'all. And we're just about ready to begin the 32nd legislative session in Juneau. Few things to let you updated about. I made sure to highlight in my postings at the beginning of this that you can go back and read. They have made it so that they are COVID compliant. If you are not wearing a mask inside of the Capitol in Juneau, where they are holding their legislative sessions at, you will be fined $250 each time you are caught without a mask. Become a repeat offender. Well, consequences continue to grow from there. Second thing that they plan on doing once they get there, they're finally going to invoke the remote legislative sessions. In other words, now they could be sitting at home in their underwear with just a dress shirt on so they look good for the camera, and they can now do their voting in their legislative sessions from sitting at home instead of being in Juneau. This is unanimously agreed upon. I'm sure will be passed before the end of today in both the House and the Senate so that they can remotely be doing their sessions there. They have also limited the press. They are only going to allow one press in when they have their press briefings or anything else that may involve the press themselves. This was also unanimously, I understand, passed there in both the House and the Senate, that the majorities that are going in there. And so our limitations of being able to see what is going on is going to be increased. My understanding that this start of the Senate's portion of this today is only going to be live streamed on the Gavel's website, and you have to specifically go there to go and see it. If they actually put it onto Facebook or anywhere else, I am not sure if that's going to happen. I've not seen anything published or saying that that is where it's going to be. So I'm going to live stream it for us all here today so that we can watch it together. And I will also be doing the same thing for the House when they come on at 1 p.m. today. I made sure that I cleared my schedule today so that I could be here to live stream these two different events that are going on. One last thing, I am looking to take our feeds to the next level. I want to be on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name the social media that you can live stream to. I want to be on all of them at the exact same time. That way you don't have to be specifically here on Facebook to do it, to be able to watch what is happening. But I need your help. I need your support to be able to do that. So please go to my website, www.politadick.com. Click that support button. The link is in the captions up above. And you'll be able to send me a little bit of money. Every penny goes right back into everything that I do here at Politadick. It helps keep us expanding. It's helped set up the studio that you see behind me, get the TV that I can broadcast from that gives crystal clear picture and has the ability to actually connect to computers. So on and so forth, the little things that continue to make our media company grow, that's exactly where your support gets put right back into. So don't hesitate, please go there. It costs money to be able to do these things. I am not a rich person. I have been doing this since day one. It started out as a hobby, and I have expanded it well beyond the hobby level for exposing what happens in Juneau with our government and our local assembly members, council members, legislators, you name it. I try to keep on top of it. Something juicy is going on. I try to make sure I'm there to live stream it for all of you. So I'm sure this is just about ready to begin here. Don't forget to like and share this video. Your liking and sharing is exactly what mainstream media doesn't want you to do. They don't want you to like it. They don't want you to share it. They want to keep this information private. They don't want you to be able to see what is going on in our different locations around our state. They purposely make this information hard to get a hold of, so that way they can spin their agenda and their narrative of what they say is going on. I have always dedicated myself to be uncut and unfiltered, so that you are not seeing just the little 10-second clip that they made of an hour-long speech to say, see, this is it, this is what's really going on, or the whole entire hour that was not part of that 10 seconds with nothing even related. So, again, don't forget, like and share our videos. That way more people out there like and share our page. Tell all your friends, your family to come join us. Help us expand. We want to make sure we keep mainstream media and our Alaska government, no matter what form they may take, on their toes. They see me walking into the room, I'll tell you what, I guarantee you it's a completely change of attitude with them behind the benches or wherever they may be sitting, because they know I'm live streaming it to every Alaskan. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the Senate start of their 32nd legislative session in Juneau. Take note the poodle mask that we see up there in front. Oh, that is hilarious. The doggy mask, you know, the cones that the dogs got to put around their heads. I got to chuckle. So just as we're going to see throughout the entire sessions that they go on in Juneau, nothing ever starts on time. This is supposed to begin at 10 a.m. They're just not there yet. They're wandering around. You can see very little social distancing going on with the groups. They are mingling, commingling with each other, taking pictures, patting each other on the back. From the looks of everybody that's in the room, majority of everybody that's in there right now is Republicans. So, you know, hey, it is what it is, but this is how serious they take the COVID crisis going on in Juneau. It has been a joke since day one. They finally do what they should have done 10 months ago to pass remote sessions. You know, remember the flight special flight they all had to take in the middle of summer to go past the CARES Act funding because they said that it was illegally being passed, got sued in court by the governor, and they had to go special flight into Juneau to spend 3 days there. This is when they tried to also pass the bills to increase the tax, double the tax for the gas fund. They put that one on there. Lo and behold, it got shot down all 3 days. It never actually did make it onto the floor, but it was put onto the docket to be heard while they were there. So that also, just so you know, is going to be part of this year's legislative session, doubling our taxes that we pay for the gas we pay for at the pump, just in the time of our crisis. That's just going to be their fix for a lot of things this year. Taxes some more. I'm trying to be a little bit of a filler here while we're waiting for them to actually get something going on. It's better than listening to that elevator music of theirs there. We are looking at one of the biggest, most destructive legislative sessions that we have ever had happening in Juneau. This will be the year that their House Bill 300/306, the one that I have been rallying on since the first day they ever announced it was going to happen. That bill right there is one of those that has 6 plans to steal the PFD. This began way back in 2019. It began a lot sooner than that. But this is when they actually began to formalize their intent. And they had their special meeting that they had with the House legislators and Senate legislators sitting in a room listening to the 6 different plans to steal the PFD. This is the year that they passed the brand new POMV law where they take an extra percentage, where they completely decided to start ignoring anything to do with the statutory PFD as if that law didn't exist. And they capped our permanent fund dividend to whatever they don't spend on government expenditures first. The rest of it is what they'll give us in our PFD. This also was when the first year that they took our permanent fund dividend and paid it using tax revenue instead of being a transfer from the earnings reserve account. Last year they repeated the performance. That's when they came out with the House Bill 306. It has changed many names. I'm sure if I go and dig into the bills that they have submitted into this year, I will find that bill has been renamed to something completely different this year, but it is still there. The one that I entitle 6 Ways to Steal the PFD, 6 Plans to Steal the Permanent Fund Dividend. This is where we are looking at this year. This is how they plan on fixing the budget. It has nothing to do with cutting the budget or making sure that they match the revenue they have coming in with what they have going out to pay for. The idea is to completely change the permanent fund dividend laws so that they have a permanent share given to them. And by share, I mean they're going to cap the budget at, say, $600 million. And $6 billion will be the cap on the budget. They'll spend $5.6 billion of that $6 billion and say there's only $400 million left over to give you guys a permanent fund dividend of. Then they will do it again when it comes to the next time, the next year's budget. They'll come back and say again, oh, wait a minute, $5.6 billion that we spent last year was not enough. We got to increase the budget by another $200 million. So now this next following year, it's $5.8 billion because we put this cap on to the budget that includes your permanent fund dividend. There's only $200 million left. This is all you guys get for a permanent fund dividend. And then the following year after that, they're going to say, oh, wait a minute, that $5.8 billion was not enough. We're now going to have to spend up to our cap, $6 billion. They're now at $6 billion. Lo and behold, guess what? There is no longer a permanent fund dividend coming to us because they've spent it all. This is the objective of the 6 plans to steal the permanent fund dividend, and not a single one of them inflation proofs the permanent fund dividend. It just continuously takes more and more to spend on government and not to us. Looks like they are just about ready to begin. Don't forget to like and share, my fellow Alaskans. I just don't know how long I can sit here and just kind of do that 2-step behind the scenes here. We're now 13 minutes behind on their broadcast of this event here today. Nothing ever starts on time in Juneau. The longer they can delay things, the more they enjoy doing it. You can see how well the social distancing really works out there in Juneau. I got a chuckle. Looks like Mike Shower there has his pulls down below the nose. They just keep doing around the circle, watching each one, going to corner inside the room. They're all wearing their masks, not social distancing. You can notice there's nobody that's actually 6 feet apart there. Oh, there's Elvie Jackson down there in the bottom. And she's the one that has been actively working as a legislator in Anchorage to thwart the recall petition against Felix Riviera there, and from him being recalled, she's the one that's been actively campaigning to make sure that the money that he has money to fight that recall that is happening. By the way, the recall has been approved. They have received enough signatures. They are now going to be on the ballot here in April to vote him out. And so hopefully everybody gets involved. They all show up at the voting booth, especially you Midtown Anchorage people. And you get out there and you make sure that that man does not make it back into office again. It would be a real detrimental if he is actually able to make it there back again. We need to put people in charge that are going to care about all Alaskans, not the special interest minorities that they have been. They want to, the 79 businesses that got listed on the Midtown Recalls website there, and the different places that it's been posted around social media. The far left is trying to claim, oh my God, how dare you? You've listed a few businesses that were still open, or they didn't close because of COVID. But, it's kind of ironic that they closed during COVID. And the few that are actually still open, you take 79 of them there and you can list off 4 for me. And you say, oh, look at how wrong this list is. 79. And there's 4 of them there that have either been closed and are still not open because of COVID, because they want to be COVID compliant, or they're just they're very limited services, and you only can get a hold of them through the telephone to place special orders through them. Or with several of them that we've seen out there, they became part of the campaign that our government, through the CARES Act funding, has kind of pushed the Meals on Wheels program to the next level, to where they're providing those Meals on Wheels to even more people, and they're getting those special government contracts to make meals on every day for our fellow Alaskans. The select businesses that got chosen out of the list of thousands and thousands that could be using that income coming through their door out there to feed Alaskans. And if you take a look at who was the first round receivers of that money, of that special project to feed Alaskans, that was gone to the same special interest, it appears, that, ex-mayor Ethan Berkowitz happens to have business interest within. He's an investor, a partner within those different organizations, those different restaurants that have been capitalizing on all of this. Here it is, 17 minutes past the hour. This was supposed to begin at 10 a.m. there in Juneau. You can see how prioritized they are about starting things on time, and that there is no priority to start things on time. The room is getting more full. Still seeing, it looks like quite a few Democrats have now stepped into the room. There still is no real social distancing going on within the Capitol there in the Senate, even though they have approved remote legislative sessions now, so that they don't have to be there. They can be sitting at home, as I was saying earlier, in their underwear. Basically have a dress shirt on and a suit jacket with their ties, or whatever their dress code requirement is, to show up in the video portion of their top half of their body, and who cares what they're wearing down below. Hopefully they're not like that one that was caught down in the lower 48 doing something that he shouldn't have been doing, and live streamed it for the whole world to see. That was a kind of a really bad thing to have had happen, and hopefully our legislators are a little bit more smarter than that. This is just the beginning, though. They have lots of bills that have been passed and that are being proposed to be passed, that have been submitted by all House and Senate members there in Juneau. Nothing that I am seeing there really addresses the amount of money that they're spending there in Juneau. Everything that I'm seeing down there is ways to increase spending, increase the funding. The little bit of cuts that they are going to propose this year that I have seen out there so far was nothing more than what COVID exposed, saying, hey, these departments, these people have been sitting home since day one. Their jobs are not necessary. Even when we go back out of the COVID restrictions, their jobs will not be necessary, because we've been able to streamline them. We've been able to computerize them. We have been able to eliminate their positions. But from what I heard of the pre-broadcast that the past Senate majority, the past House majority had when they did the discussion on the proposed state and capital budget that our governor had launched out there, listening to them talk about, you can't cut the budget, it all has to be increase. We need to find more ways to be able to permanently steal the permanent fund dividend. We got to find ways to incorporate it so that the Alaskans who own it end up having no rights to it at all. We got to figure out a way to get rid of the statutory PFD law that is on the books, and we need to expand our POMV law, Senate Bill 21. They got to figure out how to expand that one so that they get a larger cut. And the more that they spend there in government, the more that they take away from our permanent fund dividend. So ultimately, like I was describing just a little while ago, our permanent fund dividend within about 4 short years will be completely eliminated, if not within the next couple of years. They plan on capping the budget at about $6 billion is what they were proposing last year. Underneath that cap would be also our permanent fund dividend. So what they spend on the state and capital budget, if they decide to spend $6 billion, that means we don't get a permanent fund, period. If they decide to spend $5.5 billion instead, there's $500 million left over. That's about an $800 permanent fund dividend to each one of us, instead of the statutory PFD amount that this year is going to be another record breaker of $3,000+ once again. So this is the third year in a row of record-breaking PFDs if they follow the statutory formulas. And this will be year number 3 in a row that they're going to steal it all to hand right over to the special interests. You know, the special interests. The ones that the COVID CARES Act money went to. Places like Alaska AFL-CIO, the unions, the 60,000 strong that we have out there. They received a good chunk of the lion's share of it. Then we got special interest nonprofits like the Rasmussen Foundation. You know who they are. They are the ones that Senator Natasha von Imhoff family owns, that she also sits on the chair of the Finance Committee of, who the last 2 years have sat on the Senate Finance Chair position in Juneau, dictating where all of the money that comes into Juneau in the form of tax revenue gets to go to. So guess who got a good chunk of that? We all know the Rasmussen Foundation. They came up quite a bit this summer and throughout this fall with the homeless problem that they have in Anchorage. They were the main benefactors of those 4 buildings to be purchased, now 3 buildings. Now they're going to be down to just 1 more building that they had to switch out. And guess what? It's the Begich family that now gets to, if I caught the reading correctly on that, the Begich family is who's going to profit off of the sale of the new hotel that they've switched to, since the old one has too much work to be done to it. This is just nothing more than the elite patting each other's on the back and patting their pockets and making sure that they continue to keep allowing that money our state gets to completely roll in directly into the pocketbooks of the special interests. And Alaska schools are really fighting right now, making sure that they don't have to reopen their doors. NEA of Alaska, the school districts are all saying, it's too dangerous. Even with the vaccine being given to all of the teachers, it's still too dangerous to actually hold school. That it's going to be detrimental. It's going to skyrocket all the cases. Just watch what's going to happen. Remind you, ASD has started back up school again. Our numbers are about ready to skyrocket because everybody was on New Year's and the holiday break. All right. It finally looks like they're going to begin, so I'm going to re-unmute this. Hopefully we don't have to listen to elevator music for too long.
And the Uniform Rules of the Alaska State Legislature, the Senate of the State of Alaska, assembled in the Senate chamber for the first regular session of the 32nd Legislature, is hereby called to order. Senator Begich, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Members, please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Senator Machicki, will you lead us in invocation?
Yes. Please remain standing. With respect for the religious beliefs of all Alaskans, Lord, yesterday was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day, birthday, national holiday in our great country. As dogs were sicked on his people, lynching still occurred, and his peaceful marchers were washed across streets with water cannons, he still demanded peace. He knew that violence would have delayed equality in America. He knew that exponential factor of hate versus hate would justify untruth in the shallow minds that feared equality. Dr. King said, like an unchecked cancer, hate corrodes personality and eats away its vital unity. Hate destroys a man's sense of values and his objectivity. It causes him to describe the beauty as ugly and the ugly as beautiful, and to confuse the truth with the false and the false with the true. He followed with this: darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Returning violence for violence multiplies violence, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Lord, let those words find their way to Americans today. Violence will never succeed. And for those that perhaps may have thicker cranial linings, not willing to hear those words, folks that often use your words out of context, let them read your words in Luke 6:35. I tell you, love your enemies. Help and give without expecting a return. You'll never, I promise, regret it. Live out this God-created identity the way our Father lives, sort of, generously and graciously, even when we're at our worst. Our Father is kind. You be kind. Be with these 20 amazing servants of the public as well, Lord. Be with their staff. They're away from their families and faced with very tough choices. Bring us together as a body to respectfully serve Alaskans. Allow us to ignore the letter next to our names, their gender, color, religion, and district politics, to allow us to see each other as fellow equal servants here to guide the policies of our great state. Honorably, honestly, transparently, and while always remembering those struggling back at home. Lord, I close with Psalm 46:1, the verse that speaks of three primary attributes of our relationship with you, God: refuge, strength, and help. I repeat the words of that verse. God is our refuge and strength, and ever-present help in trouble. Through these words, I pray that you be there for us, this body, the other body, and the executive branch this session as we make very difficult decisions. Be there for the folks at home and deliver an end to COVID-19 and the effects of this pandemic. Be there for Alaska, watch over us, and bring us together. Amen.
Senator Machicki for providing us with the invocation on this opening day of the 32nd Legislature. Senator Hoffman.
Thank you. Ask unanimous consent that the prayer be spread on the journal.
Okay, without objection, the prayer shall be spread on the journal. Okay, at this time now, I'm going to read the certificate of election. This is State of Alaska, Division of Elections. I, Gail Funumi, Director of the Division of Elections for the State of Alaska, do hereby certify that in accordance with the provisions of AS 1515450, a general election was held on the third day of November 2020 in the State of Alaska pursuant to AS 1515020. And the following are the certified results for the office designated. Senate District B, Robert H. Myers, Jr. Senate District D, David S. Wilson. Senate District F, Shelley Hughes. Senate District H, Bill Wilikowski. Senate District J, Tom Begich. Senate District L, Natasha A. von Imhoff. Senate District M, Joshua C. Riebeck. Senate District N, Roger Holland. Senate District P, Gary Stevens. Senate District R, Bert K. Stedman. And Senate District T, Donald C. Donnie Olson. In testimony whereof I have hereunto set my hand and affixed hereto the seal of the State of Alaska at Juneau, the capital, this 30th day of November, AD 2020. Gail Funumi, Director of Division of Elections. Okay, so in an effort to comply with the policy set forth by the Ledge Council and minimize the number of members on the floor at any given time, we're going to take the oath in shifts. And I understand there's little dots here to stand on, so we do the social distancing. So will the following senators and senators-elect please come forward to take your oath of office? We'll start with Senate District B, Robert H. Myers, Jr., and Senate District D, David S. Wilson, Senate District F, Shelley Hughes, Senate District H, Bill Wilikowski, Senate District J, Tom Begich, and Senate District L, Natasha A. von Imhoff. Okay, the rest of the members, you can stay or you can go out in the hall, whatever you want to do. We're going to just take a brief at ease for now. Senate will come back to, and now we will proceed with the oath of office. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me, inserting your name after the word I. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Alaska. And that I will faithfully discharge my duties as state senator to the best of my ability. Congratulations, senators. Okay, senators, you will notice that there are 2 copies of the oath of office on your desk. Please sign both copies. One copy is for your records, and the other copy is for my records. And the pages will come around and pick up my copy once you've signed them and they're completed. Okay, so again, those of you who have been sworn in, if you want to retire to somewhere else, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, you're more welcome just to stay in your seats. Okay, so now we'll be taking up the senators-elect from districts M, N, P, R, and T. Will the following senators please come forward to take their office? Senate District M, Joshua C. Rebeck. Senate District N, Roger Holland. Senate District P, Gary Stevens. Senate District R, Bert K. Stedman. And Senate District T, Donald C. Donnie Olson.
Boo! Boo!
Okay, please raise your right hand and repeat after me, inserting your name after the word I. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Alaska, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as state senator to the best of my ability. Great. Congratulations, senators. Again, there's 2 copies of the oath on your desk. If you'll sign one, and one for you and one for me. And the pages will be coming around to pick those up. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say, senators, congratulations and welcome. After 18 years as a legislator, myself, in both bodies, this body and the other body, I can truly say that today you have officially received one of the greatest honors that one person can receive. and the honor is the trust that Alaskans have bestowed on you to represent them to the best of your ability. And I know all of you, and I have complete confidence that you will not let your constituents down. So also remember, if you would like to do the traditional ceremonial photo, unfortunately this year we can't do the reception, but please call my office and set the time, and we'll do a photo with your family, staff, whoever you want to bring. Okay, so with that, nominations are now in order for President Pro Tem of the Senate. Senator Machicki.
Thank you, Mr. Lieutenant Governor. I move and ask unanimous consent that Senator Stevens be nominated as President Pro Tem of the Senate.
Objection. Okay, seeing no objection, go ahead, Senator Machicki.
Thank you, Mr. Lieutenant Governor. I move and ask unanimous consent that nominations be closed.
Seeing and hearing none.
And Mr. Lieutenant Governor, I move and ask unanimous consent that Senator Stevens be elected President Pro Tem.
Okay, is there objection to Senator Stevens as President Pro Tem of the Senate? Okay, seeing and hearing none, Senator Stevens, congratulations. Let's take a brief at ease. Do we need to vote? Okay.
No objection.
I am absolutely floored that they have put Stevens in charge as the pro tem, the temporary head of the Senate, while they organize. This is a kind of a shocking blow going on here. If anybody knows what he ran on in the Senate to be as, and the promises that he's made. Going to be an interesting year in the Senate, considering from what I've been hearing.
President, all those in
Finally.
favor of Senator Machicki as president, please say aye. Those opposed say no. And by unanimous consent, Senator Machicki has been chosen as president. At this time, I'd like to ask Senator Stedman and Senator Begich if you would escort the president-elect up here.
Holy crap, Senator Machicki as president of the Senate? We're definitely screwed this year.
Come back to order. Thank you for your confidence. As we have limited business today, one thing that I would like to get done under unfinished business is I'm willing to take a nomination for the Senate Secretary.
Let me get the right name. Yeah?
That would be Liz Clark.
The last name is Liz Clark. Mr. President, I move and ask that Liz Clark be elected as our Senate President. As our Senate. I remove that and ask that Liz Clark be elected our Senate Secretary.
I hear no objection. Is there any objection to, can you make the motion for nominations being closed?
President, move and ask unanimous consent that the nominations be closed.
Without objection, nominations are closed. If we can please, we'll do a yay or nay for folks in favor of Liz Clark remaining as our Senate Secretary. Vote aye. Aye. And do we have anyone voting nay? With that and in unanimous consent, that makes Liz Clark our Senate Secretary. Welcome, Ms. Clark. Brief at ease, please. Senate is back in order, in session. We are going to move up, well, we're going to move essentially to the only place in the calendar, and that is unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? Senator Von Imhoff.
Thank you. Okay.
There's Mr. President, there is a rule in the House that we are not to stand. That is the chamber rule. Could we please align ourselves with that rule?
Thank you, Mr. Minority Leader. Please remain seated while you're addressing the body.
President Michicki, I move and ask unanimous consent for permission to, I forgot what I was supposed to say, but basically leave the Senate for today p.m. playtime till Monday, I think it's the 25th, a.m. playing time for personal business.
Without objection, you'll be excused, Senator. Thank you. Any other unfinished business? Seeing none. I'm sorry. Yes, Senator Jackson.
Gray Jackson, I raised my hand late. Sorry. Thank you, Mr. President. I move and ask unanimous consent to be excused from the call of the Senate on Saturday, whatever date that is, afternoon playing time until Tuesday, whatever date that is, morning playing time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Without objection, you'll be excused. Any others? Okay, that brings us to announcements. And I will tell you that there's some plastic to see through, so you'll have to maybe raise your hand high if you want to speak. Next is special orders. Do we have any special orders? Seeing none. Pardon? Oh, Senator Wilson, yes. Under special orders.
Yes, thank you. I move and ask unanimous consent to have special privilege of the floor to talk about sweet sanity.
Without objection, sweet sanity.
Thank you, Mr. President. On members' desk, you have a jar of honey and some hand sanitizer. Last year, a touch of sweetness wasn't enough to get us through the session, so this year we thought we'll add a little bit of sanity through some hand sanitizer to keep us honest and pure this year, Mr. President. So with that, I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wilson. Any other special orders? Seeing none, Senator Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move and ask unanimous consent that the Senate adjourn until 11 a.m. January 20th, 2021.
Thank you, Senator Hoffman. Without objection, the Senate is adjourned until tomorrow, 11 a.m. On January 20th, 2021. We are adjourned.
Just 1 second, my fellow Alaskans, and I will be right with you. All right, highlight cap, update cap, recap of what just happened and what we just saw. Give me just a second here, make sure we're all in line. You can see me nice and clear. Want to make sure that we get this all out here while we can. I'm sure you all just saw. Aha, I am in picture. All right, that's all I wanted to make sure there before I went too much further. All right, we just saw that Senator Pete Micciche, however you say his last name, has just been unanimously declared Senate President. Anybody that has been following him and his campaign and the way he has voted for the last several years, especially in the Senate, he is not much better than Senator Kathy Giesel was. He is just a slightly more conservative version of her. And that's not saying a lot considering how far left she had swung over the last few years, systematically dismantling our permanent fund dividend, raising all of the special interests budgets out there, making sure they are well funded and well taken care of. No surprise to see that L.V. Jackson and Natasha von Imhoff, comrade Natasha von Imhoff, she has been well nicknamed there by someone else, and I'm just... She and her are both already taking days off immediately without even starting, and are going to be gone for like the next 5 days or so, not participating in anything that's going on there in Juneau. The reason why I think this is the restructuring that has went on. There was a huge outcry to make sure that Natasha von Imhoff was not sitting on any of the Senate finance committees. There is way too much conflict of interest with her being in that position. She should never have been allowed in it to begin with, and hopefully they'll make sure that she does not get within the Senate the finance committees again this year. If they do, they're just setting themselves up for a downfall. Never forget, she's the reason why we didn't get our $1,000 stimulus last year on top of the $1,000 partial PFD that they had given us. And all of that money was stripped out because of her. She is one of the main reasons why we don't see a statutory PFD as of today. So is Pete Micciche. He has been one of the leading advocates out there that has not hesitated to sign off on the budgets at the end of the year that has systematically eroded our legal rights that we have to our oil wealth, our revenue, the state resources that we all gave up that became the 49th state of the United States of America. And we gave up a lot as citizens of Alaska when we did that. And our rights, our minerals, our resources, they all belong to Alaskans, and we are to safeguard it from our government's overspending when they think they need something when they don't, to get a 5% return on the money that they spend. I mean, literally, you look at most of the programs that they have out there is a 5% return. The homeless problem going on throughout our entire state, 5% return on the investment that they put in trying to combat homelessness. Our schools are another good example. K through 12, we're the worst in the nation at the highest costs. And thanks to the pandemic, we're still the worst in the nation. In fact, we've moved up in ranks. We're now within the, I think, 51st worst schools districts in the entire United States, and we have hit 50th when it comes to spending. I also include the two non-states when I do the total, so we got 52 states when we look at the total for how well our schools are doing out there. We are the worst in the nation, and they're proud of that fact. They lobby to increase their spending because they think more money is going to solve their poor statistics, where it's their systematic destruction of reading, writing, and arithmetic that has caused that to happen. Anyways, I digress. Pete Micciche, Senator Pete Micciche, is now the Senate President, and so we're looking at a very rocky beginning to it. It took them close to 45 minutes to begin what was supposed to start at 10 o'clock to accomplish 15 minutes worth of work, and they have already gavelled out and will not be meeting back again until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. I will try to do my best to live stream as many of these as I can, because you can only watch these on Gavel. They're not being shown on regular TV unless you get the Gavel channel, which I no longer do. Because I don't carry any of the local news networks if they are not live streamed for free on the television. It's one of those things, that $80 a month or whatever it costs to be able to get those premium channels to be able to watch this stuff just isn't in my budget. It takes supporters like you out there to help make that become part of my budget so that I have other abilities to be able to catch these things. Go to my website, www.politadick.com, click that donate button, click that support button, help us grow. Every penny goes right back into expanding what we do. We've done a lot of improvements over the years, and we've only started asking for your support since about July of this year. Many of you have stepped forward, and we have taken every penny and made sure we have expanded things to continue our broadcasting to you and expanding our network. From what you see behind me for what we broadcasted today, the studio that is built here, the high quality microphones that we now have. I mean, I'm probably sounding like I'm blasting out your eardrums right now because I'm talking in my normal voice in front of a very high quality microphone that picks up everything. Clear back in another room and it still heard me. Anyways, again, go to my website, help us out. Every penny goes right back in. My next goal, my next step for Politadick is to start live streaming to all of the media channels at the same time. Making sure that no matter where you like to watch your favorite news broadcasts or informational updates or things like this today, you can do it at your leisure, whether it be on YouTube, it be on Facebook, it be on Twitter. Wherever you enjoy watching these things, we want to live stream to them all at the exact same time. But to be able to do that takes money. Something that I need your help, your support to make happen. Don't forget to like and share. Facebook hates it when you like and share. They also squeal on you and tell me you didn't. So have yourselves a great day. I will be back for the house session in a little while. Thanks.